The courtyard smelled of smoke and rain. I stood beneath the black sky, watching the flames climb higher. The pyre cracked, screaming with her voice. My guards waited behind me, their faces pale, but no one dared to speak. "Do it," I said quietly. "End it now." A soldier hesitated. "Your Majesty, the people do it?" My voice broke, sharper than the fire's hiss. They obeyed, the torch dropped, and the world caught fire. Evelyn's white dress turned red in the blaze. Her hair, her eyes, everything I once loved burned before me. "Lucien," she whispered through the smoke. Her voice reached me, broken, trembling, and too soft for the world to deserve. "I didn't do it." I froze. "Don't lie to me." "I never lied to you." Her words cracked with pain. "Mara did." "Amara?" The name stabbed me. My queen-to-be, my angel in mourning. She had brought the letters, the seal, the priest. They had cried before me, begging justice for betrayal. I believed her. "Silence her," I ordered, though my throat felt raw. Evelyn's eyes met mine, shining through the flames. "You'll regret this until the day you die." The wind howled. The crowd gasped. Then she screamed once, and the world went quiet. I couldn't breathe. Mara stepped beside me, clutching my arm. "It's done, Your Majesty. The traitor is gone." "Don't call her that." My voice was low, almost a growl. She blinked, startled. "You ordered her death." "Yes," I said. "And now I have to live with it." She touched my shoulder. "She betrayed you. She planned to flee with the foreign envoy. You saw the proof." Proof. Forged letters, signed with a trembling hand I swore I knew. The priest's voice, steady and calm, confirming every lie. I had wanted to believe them. Needed to, because loving her hurt too much. "She said your name," I murmured. Before she died, Amara stiffened. She wanted to curse me. "No," she said, "you did it." Her hand tightened. "You're tired, Lucien. It's over. Let her go." But I couldn't. Her voice still echoed, twisting around my ribs. "You'll regret this." When the fire dimmed, all that remained was ash and the faint smell of roses. She had loved roses, said they reminded her of hope. I turned away before the tears could fall. "Your Majesty," the High Priest Alaric bowed deeply. "Justice has been served. The gods will bless your reign. Bless me." I laughed bitterly. "For killing her?" He didn't answer. His eyes flickered toward Amara. Something passed between them, something I didn't like. "Leave us," I said. "All of you." The courtyard emptied, leaving only the smoke and the silence. I stared at the ashes until dawn. When I finally spoke, my voice was hollow. "You wanted a traitor, Amara. I gave you one. Are you happy now?" She frowned. "I don't understand." "You will." She walked closer. "Lucien, you're trembling." "I should be. I just killed the only person who ever told me the truth." Her expression softened, practiced, and perfect. "You're grieving." "I'll stay with you." "No," I said coldly. "Go, Lucien, go." She left without another word. Her perfume lingered a sweet, suffocating scent that made me want to burn the palace itself. When I was alone, I sank to my knees. The stones were still warm. My fingers brushed the ash, and for a heartbeat, I thought I felt her hand. "Evelyn," I whispered, "if you were innocent, gods, forgive me." The wind answered, soft and cold. That night, sleep didn't come. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face in the flames. The way she looked at me, not angry, not afraid, just heartbroken. At dawn, I went to her cell. The chains still hung from the wall, but the room was empty. On the ground I found something half-burned, a ribbon blue as her eyes. I picked it up and slipped it into my coat. Lord Rowan entered quietly, my oldest friend. His armor clinked as he bowed. "It's done?" "Yes." He looked at the ashes in my hand. "You don't look victorious." "Was I supposed to?" "She loved you, Lucien?" "Don't," I snapped. "Don't say her name again." "She wasn't guilty," he said, voice low. I turned sharply. "You doubt me too?" "I doubt the proof." Came to icily. My heart pounded. "Are you saying I executed an innocent woman? Saying you might have listened to the wrong heart?" I stared at him, but he didn't flinch. "Leave?" I whispered. When he was gone, I broke. The ribbon fell from my hand. I pressed my palm against my chest, trying to find the heartbeat I'd lost. Outside, the bells rang for morning prayer. I didn't join. What God would listen to a murderer? I walked back to the courtyard one last time. The ashes were gone, carried away by the wind. But I could still hear her voice. I didn't do it. I closed my eyes. Then who did? The question echoed inside me, louder than the bells. That night, I made a vow. I would never trust love again. And yet deep inside, I already knew this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of my punishment. A week had passed, but the smell of smoke still clung to my robes. Every hall I walked through whispered her name. Amara followed me again. "Lucien, you haven't eaten in 2 days. You'll make yourself ill." "I'm not hungry," she sighed, soft and delicate. "You can't keep punishing yourself. She betrayed you. Everyone saw the proof." "Everyone saw what they were told to see," I said. Her eyes widened. "You think I lied?" "I think I was too quick to believe." She touched my sleeve gently. "Lucien, please. You're the emperor. You must stay strong. Don't let a ghost haunt your reign." "Then tell me, Amara," I whispered. "Why can't I stop hearing her voice?" She froze for a heartbeat. "Grief plays tricks. It will fade." "No," I said quietly. "It won't." We stood in silence. The only sound was the rain striking the windows. She turned away first. "I loved her too, you know." I almost laughed. "Did you?" "She was my sister," she said sharply. "Don't forget that." I looked at her, at the perfection of her sorrowful mask. That's what frightens me. She left the chamber without another word. When the door shut, I exhaled. My breath shook. Hated that I still looked for Evelyn in every corner of this cursed palace. Later that night, Rowan entered my study uninvited. His armor dripped rain onto the floor. "You shouldn't barge into your emperor's chambers," I said. "You shouldn't have killed her," he answered. I looked up. "Careful, old friend." "I'm past careful," he said. "She was innocent." Slammed my hand on the desk. "Then why did she confess?" "She didn't." "You heard what you wanted to hear." His words struck like a blade. "You think I wanted this?" "I think you wanted peace," Rowan said. "And you let Amara sell you a lie to get it?" My chest tightened. "You weren't there when Evelyn's letters were found." "I was," he said quietly. "And I know her handwriting. That wasn't it." The room spun. "Why didn't you speak sooner?" "You wouldn't have listened." He was right. I'd been deaf, blind, desperate to end the turmoil in my court. "Leave me," I said through clenched teeth. Rowan nodded once. "You'll see the truth eventually. I just hope it doesn't destroy you first." When he left, the silence returned thick and alive. I poured wine into a goblet, but it tasted like ash. That night, I dreamed of fire again. In the dream, Evelyn stood in the center of the courtyard, untouched by the flames. Her eyes were calm. "Why are you here?" I asked. "To remind you." "Of what?" "Of the lies you built your throne upon." "I did what I had to. You did what was easiest." Her voice grew distant, fading into the crackle of the fire. "You'll see, Lucien. Truth burns longer than any pyre." I woke with a start, drenched in sweat. The room was dark, but I could still hear her. I pressed my palms to my temples and whispered, "You're dead. You're gone." Knock came at the door. "Who is it?" "High Priest Alaric, Your Majesty." I allowed him in.
Yes.
His face was solemn, his robes soaked from rain. "I bring news," he said. "People are talking. They say the woman cursed you before she died, that the gods marked your soul." I laughed bitterly. "Then the gods have good aim. This isn't a jest. The soldiers fear the curse. They whisper that Evelyn's spirit walks the halls. Do you fear her too, priest?" He hesitated. "I fear guilt, Majesty. It draws spirits." I met his gaze. "Are you saying my guilt has summoned her? Perhaps? Then maybe I deserve her." He bowed. "Pray, Your Majesty, before the guilt consumes you." When he left, the scent of incense lingered, heavy and false. I walked to the window. The courtyard below was empty, but I could still see the outline of the pyre. The stones were blackened where she had burned. I spoke to the air. "If you are still here, Evelyn, speak to me." Nothing answered but the wind. Morning came with thunder. At breakfast, Amara sat across from me, her smile perfect. "You look tired? Were the nightmares bad again?" I stared at her. "Who told you I have nightmares?" Her lips curved faintly. "You talk in your sleep, so you watch me while I sleep now." "I worry," she said sweetly. "You're not yourself." "Maybe because myself is dead," I muttered. She reached across the table. "Lucien, please. Shh. Don't let her poison your mind even in death." "Poison?" I laughed softly. "She didn't poison me. She was the cure I killed." Her expression flickered. "You speak nonsense." Maybe I leaned closer. Or maybe I'm finally waking up. Amara's hand trembled slightly. "You think I'd ever lie to you?" I looked her straight in the eye. "I think you already did." She stood abruptly. "I see grief has turned you cruel." "No," I said. "Grief turned me human. Lies made me cruel." Her jaw tightened. "Then find your truth, Lucien. But remember, truth won't love you back." When she left, her words echoed like prophecy. That night I didn't dream of fire. I dreamed of her eyes, calm, endless, and accusing. And when I woke, I swore I saw her standing by the window, whispering, "You're not free yet." I wasn't, not even close. 2 years passed. The empire bled in silence. Fields rotted. Children starved. The gods stayed quiet. When the reports reached me, I slammed my hand on the council table. "We have priests, physicians, alchemists, and still the people die?" Lord Rowan stood beside me. "There's someone new, Majesty. A woman. They say she cures what no one can. A charlatan? Perhaps, but the sick walk again." I leaned back. "Name?" "Lyra Arden." The name meant nothing. Yet something in my chest stirred. "Bring her to the capital." Days later, the throne room filled with whispers. The healer knelt before me. Her cloak was gray, simple, soaked from travel. She raised her head, and the world stopped. I knew those eyes. Calm, defiant. Blue as stormlight. My throat closed. "Stand." She obeyed. Her voice was soft, steady. "Your Majesty." The sound of it nearly broke me. Rowan studied my face, sensing the tremor I couldn't hide. "Lyra, His Majesty wishes to hear how you perform your miracles." "Only use what nature gives," she said. "Herbs, water, patience. And faith?" "Faith." Evelyn used to say that word. Always with that same faint smile. "You've healed dozens in the eastern villages," Rowan said. "How?" "I listen," she replied simply. "The body tells its secrets when treated with kindness." My voice was colder than I meant. "Kindness doesn't cure plague." Her eyes met mine. "Neither does cruelty." Every word hit like a blade. I couldn't breathe. I rose from the throne. "Leave us," I ordered. The court hesitated. Rowan frowned. "Majesty, leave us." When the hall emptied, she stayed still, silent. I approached slowly. "Your name?" "Lyra Arden." "You're from where?" "Arden Valley." "Family?" "All dead." My hands clenched. "You remind me of someone?" She tilted her head slightly. "Do I?" "Yes, someone I wronged." Her gaze flickered. "Then perhaps the gods sent me to remind you." I almost laughed. "You speak boldly to your emperor." "Truth doesn't bow," she said. Her tone, her calm, every inch of her tore open the wound I'd buried. "You've seen me before, haven't you?" I whispered. "No." Her smile was faint, practiced. "But I know your kind. Men who think remorse is redemption." I stepped back as if struck. "You speak as if you know my sins." "Everyone knows them," she said. "The emperor who burned a woman for treason and cursed his own soul."
Ow!
My blood went cold. "Watch your tongue." She didn't flinch. "You asked who I was? I am no one." Just a healer trying to survive the ruin your war left behind. Words cut deeper than any accusation. Evol, I stopped myself, choking on the name. Evol, she asked softly. Is that her name? I turned away. You should go as you wish, Your Majesty. Her footsteps echoed as she left. When the door closed, I gripped the armrest until the wood cracked. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing her face through the candlelight of Ellen's face, live again, staring back at me with quiet hatred. The next morning I summoned Rowan. You saw her, I said. Tell me what you think. He hesitated. I think she's extraordinary. She saved the prince's steward overnight. No fever, no trace of sickness. Not that, I snapped. Her face. What about it? She looks like her. Rowan's jaw tightened. You mean Evelyn? Don't say her name, I hissed. You see ghosts, Lucian? You want forgiveness so badly, you'll chase it into any pair of eyes that remind you of her. She's not a ghost, I said. She's real. He met my gaze steadily. And even if she is her, what then? You'll kill her again? His words burned. Get out. When he was gone, I sent for the healer again. She entered, calm as before. You're brave, I said. Most would tremble before me. I've seen worse than kings, she replied. Do you fear death? No. Why? Because I've already lost everything. My chest tightened. You remind me too much of someone I can't forget, and perhaps that's your punishment, she said softly. I studied her. The same lips, the same steady breath. If this was some cruel trick of fate, it was flawless. Why did you come here? I asked. To heal? No. Truly. She smiled faintly. Maybe I came to watch you suffer. My heart stopped. What did you say? She bowed slightly. Forgive me, or jest. The court told me your temper was sharp. You're dismissed. She turned. I spoke quietly. If you are who I think you are, why come back? She paused. Perhaps because the dead deserved closure. Then she walked away. When she was gone, I collapsed into the throne. My hands trembled. I whispered to the empty air, Evelyn, if you've returned, kill me quickly. But the voice that answered wasn't hers. It was mine. You don't deserve death yet. That night I dreamed again of fire, but this time she didn't burn. She stood above the flames, untouched, watching me drown in them. When I woke, I knew one truth. The past I buried had returned to judge me. Asterisk, I couldn't think of anything but her. Every meeting, every report, every face blurred into insignificance beside Lyra Arden's calm eyes. I called Commander Darius to my chamber after nightfall. You wanted secrecy, Majesty? He asked. Yes. You'll investigate the healer. He frowned. The woman curing the plague? The same? What am I to look for? Everything, I said. Her origin, her history, her past. Quietly. He hesitated. You suspect treason? I suspect truth, I said. And truth often hides behind lies. Ares studied me carefully. Understood. Don't breathe a word to anyone, not even Amara, to command. When he left, the silence pressed against my skull. The next morning, Amara appeared at breakfast uninvited. She always did when she wanted to remind me she still held power in my court. Lucian, she said sweetly, the healer is gaining too much attention. The nobles whisper that you're fascinated by her. Let them whisper. She tilted her head. She has bewitched you. I set down my cup. Careful, Amara. That word burned a woman once. She deserved it, she snapped. I looked at her coldly. Did she? Her lips trembled for a moment before her expression hardened again. You doubt me now? I doubt everything. Her voice softened. You're not yourself. This woman, Liarashi, reminds you of her. That's why you're drawn to her. She reminds me of what I lost, I said quietly, and of what I destroyed. Amara reached across the table. You're making a mistake again. Maybe, I said, rising. But this time, it'll be mine alone. I left her sitting there, her eyes burning holes through my back. Later that day, Rowan found me in the corridor outside the council room. You've been restless, he said. I don't sleep much because of her." I didn't answer. He sighed. "Lucien, you're chasing ghosts again? You can't fix the past by obsessing over a stranger." "She's not a stranger." He frowned. "You said that before? She sings a song only Evelyn knew?" I said quietly. "I heard it last night when she walked past the courtyard." His face paled. "You're sure?" "I would know that melody anywhere. She used to hum it while tending the gardens. It was hers." "Coincidence," Rowan said. "Plenty of songs sound alike." "No," I said. "Not this one." He looked at me for a long moment. "Lucien, if she truly is Evelyn, what then? You think she'd forgive you?" I swallowed hard. "I don't know. Maybe I don't deserve forgiveness. Maybe I just want to know if it's really her. Or maybe you want punishment," he said. "Be careful. Obsession and guilt look the same when they rot a man." I turned away. "I'll take that risk." That night, I went to the balcony overlooking the garden. The moon was bright, silvering the leaves. And there, beneath the old willow, she stood. Lyra, she didn't see me. Her hands were folded before her, her lips moving softly. The song drifted through the air, gentle, mournful, achingly familiar, under starlight.
Oh.
"We wait for dawn, hearts unbound, though love is gone." The words froze me. Evelyn had written that song for me. Only the two of us had known it. My hand trembled as I gripped the railing. I wanted to call her name, to ask who she truly was, but fear held my tongue. When she finished singing, she turned toward the shadows where I stood. Her eyes met mine across the distance. "You shouldn't watch people from the dark, Your Majesty," she said softly. My breath caught. "You knew I was here?" "I always know when someone's listening. Why sing that song?" She smiled faintly. "Does it mean something to you?" "It did," I whispered. "Then perhaps it's just an old melody that found its way back." "No," I said, stepping closer. "That song belonged to someone I loved." "Loved," she repeated. Past tense. Her tone was calm. But her eyes gleamed with something sharper than curiosity, something like vengeance. "I don't believe in coincidence," I said. "Neither do I," she replied. We stood there, silence heavy between us. "Who taught you that song?" I asked. She tilted her head. "Maybe I heard it from the wind, or from someone long forgotten." My pulse quickened. "You're mocking me." "No," she said. "I'm reminding you. Some memories never die, even when people do." I stared at her, unable to breathe. "Good night, Your Majesty," she said, bowing slightly. "Try not to dream of ghosts." She walked away, her steps soundless against the stones. I stood there long after she was gone, the echo of that song haunting me like the beating of my own heart. When I finally returned to my chambers, Darius was waiting. "I have a report," he said quietly. "The healer's records don't exist. No birth papers, no family, nothing before 2 years ago." 2 years, I repeated. "The year Evelyn died, yes, Majesty." I dismissed him and sat in the dark. The flames in the hearth flickered, dancing like ghosts. My mind whispered what my heart already knew. Evelyn wasn't gone. She was here, watching, waiting, and maybe this time she wasn't the one who needed saving. The palace buzzed with gossip again this time, not about scandal, but miracles. "Your Majesty," a courtier cried as I entered the hall. "The healer saved the Queen Mother." The fever broke overnight. Gasps followed. Priests murmured prayers. I barely breathed. "Bring her," I ordered. Moments later, Lyra walked in, calm and composed. The courtiers bowed, whispering her name like a hymn. I stepped down from the throne. "You saved my mother," she bowed lightly. "I only eased her pain. Life belongs to the gods." "Then the gods chose you as their hand," I said. Her eyes flicked up. "Strange. The last time someone said that to me, they burned me for it."
Nice.
My blood ran cold. "What did you say?" "Only that people are quick to worship, quicker to condemn." Her gaze didn't waver. I forced a smile. "The Empire thanks you, Lady Lyra. You've earned my trust." "I didn't ask for it," she said softly, Amara's voice sliced through the murmurs. Your Majesty, must you reward every stranger who plays with herbs and luck? She could be using dark magic. I turned sharply. Enough. She bewitches you. Amara's face flushed. I see it the same way Evelyn did. The hall fell silent. Be careful, Amara, I said, my tone like ice. You speak of the dead too easily. She betrayed you, and yet her ghost haunts me more faithfully than you ever did. Amara's lips trembled. You're making a fool of yourself, I said, stepping closer. You're afraid she's taking your place. She glared. I will not be replaced by some peasant witch. Lyra's voice broke the tension. Then perhaps you should hold tighter to what you still have. The crowd gasped. Amara's eyes blazed. You dare she saved my mother, I interrupted. She has earned protection. Insult her again, and you'll answer to me. Amara bowed stiffly, fury masked by grace. As you command, your Majesty. When the court dispersed, I found Rowan waiting outside the chamber. His face was grim. You defend her like you owe her your soul, he said. Maybe I do. He frowned. You're losing control. Or finding truth, I replied. Truth. He echoed Lucian. Your truth changes with every breath she takes. I turned away. You think I don't know how this looks? I think you still see Evelyn when you look at her. I dream of her every night, I said quietly. She stands in the fire, watching me. I wake up choking on her name. Rowan's voice hardened. You killed her, Lucian. Dreams won't change that. Do you think I forget? Every day I breathe is a punishment. He studied me. Then stop pretending redemption will come wrapped in her face. I'm not pretending, I whispered. I'm drowning. He shook his head and walked away. That night, I wandered the servants' corridor, unable to sleep. Laughter faded as I approached. Then I heard Amara's voice low, venomous. If I hear that name again, she hissed, you'll join her in the grave. A servant whimpered. Forgive me, my lady, I didn't mean. A slap cracked through the air. Mean it or not, you speak of traitors and traitors burn. I stepped forward. Enough. Amara spun, startled. Lucian. I looked at the trembling maid. Go when she fled, I said, threatening servants now. They gossip, Amara said coolly. They poison loyalty, I said. You do. She smirked. And what of your new pet healer? How loyal is she? I ignored her and turned away, though my hands shook. In my study, the candlelight trembled over the desk. A stack of old records waited there, Darius's latest report on Lyra. But something else caught my eye. A letter, sealed with the royal crest, edges yellowed with time. My name was written on it in familiar, elegant handwriting. Evelyn's, my pulse thundered. I broke the seal with trembling fingers. My lord, if you are reading this, I have already been condemned. I swear upon my soul, I am innocent. I have never betrayed you. I only loved you, and perhaps that was my crime. The ink blurred as my vision swam. If my sister speaks against me, remember this jealous hearts were gentler masks than guilty ones. I dropped the letter. My breath hitched. No, the walls seemed to close in. I staggered back, clutching the desk. I killed her. The firelight danced cruelly, flickering across the parchment. Every word was a blade. I grabbed the bell rope and yanked it. Rowan entered moments later. What happened? Read this. He took the letter, scanned it, then looked up slowly. Where did you find this? In the archives. Exhaled. Lucian, this was sealed by your scribe 2 years ago. He said he gave you every letter before her execution. My heart cracked. He lied, or someone intercepted it. Rowan's jaw tightened. Amara. I didn't speak. I couldn't. He set the letter down. Now you know. I killed the wrong person, I whispered. Not wrong, he said coldly. Just the one who trusted you. When he left, the silence screamed louder than his words. I sank to my knees beside the desk, clutching the letter. Her words burned through me, brighter than any fire I'd ordered. I only loved you. The truth finally came for me, and I was the last to deserve it. Asterisk. I couldn't breathe after reading Evelyn's letter. The words circled my mind like ghosts, whispering through every thought. I needed truth, real truth, not Amara's, not the court's. That morning, I summoned High Priest Alaric. He arrived with the calm arrogance of a man who thought himself untouchable. "Your Majesty called for me?" "Yes," I said coldly. "Sit." He hesitated. "If this is about the Queen Mother's health, this is about a lie," I interrupted. "The one you helped build." He blinked. "I don't follow." I threw Evelyn's letter across the table. "You do? Read it." He picked it up, his expression unreadable. When he finished, he placed it down carefully. "Where did you find this?" "In the archives," I said. "Hidden, sealed, forgotten. Convenient, isn't it?" He folded his hands. "I see your grief still clouds your judgment." "Don't insult me," I said, voice shaking. "You testified that the gods revealed Evelyn's guilt through divine signs. Was that true?" He smiled faintly. "Truth is flexible, Majesty. Sometimes it serves order better than chaos." My pulse thundered. "Answer me." "Very well," he said quietly. "The signs were arranged." "Arranged?" He looked almost bored. Amara offered gold to ensure the court's decision was swift. I obliged. The people needed peace, and the empire needed stability. "You condemned an innocent woman for stability?" "I served the throne," he said. "And you signed the order." I slammed my hand against the table. "You tricked me. You wanted to be tricked," he said sharply. "You needed someone to blame, and she was perfect." The room tilted. My breath came shallow. "You murdered her," his voice softened. "No, Majesty, you did." I lunged across the table, grabbing his collar. "Why now? Why tell me this now?" "'Cause," he whispered, "the truth always wants to be heard, even if it destroys the listener." I released him, shaking. "I'll have you arrested. You'll hang for this." He smiled bitterly. "I can't hang the god's voice, Your Majesty." "The people still worship my words. I'll make them stop." He chuckled. "You're too late for that. The empire runs on lies now. You built them yourself." I staggered back. His calmness made me sick. "Get out before I forget what mercy means." He bowed. "As you wish. But remember, confession doesn't change consequence." When he left, I collapsed into the chair, trembling. Evelyn's name slipped from my lips like a prayer. "I'm sorry. I was blind." The next day, he was found dead. Darius came to me at dawn. "High Priest Alaric has passed, Majesty." "How poison," he said. "Wine cup left by his bed." No signs of struggle. I closed my eyes. "And the servants, all silent," he replied. "No one saw anything." "Of course they didn't." Darius hesitated. "Should I investigate?" "No," I said quietly. "The truth's already buried with him." When he left, I stared at the empty goblet on my desk. The irony burned. The liar had choked on his own deceit, but it didn't bring peace. Only more hollow air in my lungs. Later that evening, I walked through the courtyard where Evelyn had died. The stones still bore faint burn marks. My reflection trembled in the fountain's water. "I killed you for nothing," I whispered. "You begged me to listen, and I refused." A voice drifted behind me. "Talking to ghosts again, Majesty." I turned. Lyra stood there, her cloak brushing the stones, her eyes soft but distant. "Do you enjoy haunting me?" I asked. "I don't have to," she said. "You do it to yourself. Why are you here?" "I came to thank you," she said, "for protecting me from Amara's accusations." "She hates you," I said. "Jealousy is a disease," Lyra murmured. "But unlike the ones I cure, that one can't be healed." "You speak as if you know her heart." "I know her kind." Her gaze lingered on me, calm and cutting. "You've been restless. Something's changed." I hesitated. The priest confessed. To what? To helping Amara forge the divine signs? He took her gold. He damned Evelyn. Lyra's face didn't move, but her eyes darkened. "And now he's dead," I said. "Poisoned." "How tragic," she said softly. "You don't seem surprised. Should I be?" she asked. "Corruption always devours itself." I stared at her. "You think she killed him? Do you need me to tell you what you already know?" I exhaled. Amara's hands are soaked in lies. But I was the one who lit the fire. Regret won't cleanse blood, she said. I don't want cleansing, I said. I want truth. Truth hurts, she said. So do lies. A moment's silence stretched between us. The wind stirred her cloak. Why do you care so much about her? I asked. She smiled faintly. Because someone should. Something in her voice made my heart stop. Who are you really, Lyra? Someone you've already met, she said softly. But you were too blind to see me then. I stepped closer. What are you saying? She turned away. Nothing you're ready to hear. Tell me. She looked over her shoulder, her eyes glinting like steel. You'll know when it's time. Then she walked away, leaving me alone with the weight of every word. The moon rose high, pale and merciless. I stared at the sky until dawn, whispering Evelyn's name again and again. Like a curse I couldn't undo, and for the first time since her death, I wished the flames had taken me too. The night she came to me, the palace was silent. The air felt heavier than usual, thick with the kind of stillness that always follows confession or death. When I looked up, Lyra was already standing by the window. You shouldn't be here, I said quietly. Neither should ghosts, she replied. Her tone made the back of my neck go cold. What do you mean by that? She turned and moonlight spilled over her face. You really don't know? I swallowed. You're not making sense. Her gaze pierced through me. Then listen carefully. I waited. My name isn't Lyra, she said. It never was. The words hit harder than any blade. Then who are you? She stepped closer. You should recognize me. You ordered my death. My blood froze. No, yes. Her voice didn't shake. I was Evelyn Ashbourne, the woman you burned alive. The world tilted. My throat closed. That's impossible. She smiled faintly. You always say that when faced with truth. My knees nearly gave out. How is this possible? The gods don't forgive easily, she said. They sent me back to finish what you started. I stumbled backward, gripping the edge of the table. Evelyn, don't, she said sharply. You lost the right to speak my name. I thought you were dead, I whispered. You made sure I was. The silence between us burned hotter than any fire. I didn't know, I said desperately. Amara led. She laughed softly. Yes, she did. But you believed her, didn't you? Because it was easier to believe the liar you loved than the truth that hurt. My chest ached. I was blind. I was weak. You were a coward, she said. I flinched. I deserve that. No, she said coldly. You deserve worse. Her eyes were steady, unblinking. She didn't cry, didn't tremble. The woman before me wasn't the Evelyn I remembered. She was something sharper, reborn in vengeance. What do you want from me? I asked. Nothing, she said. Not forgiveness, not pity. I came to tell you what's coming. What's coming? Justice, she said. Amara will pay. So will everyone who helped her. Us. I stepped forward. If you mean revenge, it'll consume you. Revenge already did, she said. It's all that kept me alive. Evelyn, stop calling me that, she shouted. That woman died screaming your name. Her voice cracked, but her eyes stayed hard. I couldn't look away. I see her every night, I said. In my dreams, in the fire. I beg her to forgive me, but she never speaks. She shouldn't, she said. Forgiveness is mercy. You don't deserve mercy. I dropped to my knees before her. Then take whatever you want from me. My crown, my life. Just end this torment. She looked down at me like a stranger. You think death would free you? No, Lucien. You'll live. You'll watch everything you built turn to ash. Evelyn, I told you not to say that name. Her voice echoed off the marble walls. I lowered my head. Then what do I call you? Call me what I've become, she said. Vengeance. The word cut through me. You won't stop me, she continued. You'll stay silent, as you did before. I can't let you destroy yourself. She knelt beside me, her voice soft but lethal. You let me burn? Let me finish burning what's left. I looked up at her, tears stinging my eyes. If I could trade places with you, I would. You can't, she said. That's the punishment. Her hand brushed my cheek not tenderly, but like testing whether the monster she remembered still breathed beneath my skin. You still feel guilt, she whispered. Good. Keep it. It's the only thing that makes you human. What will you do now? I asked. She stood. I'll start with Amara, then the priest's disciples. Then every soul who profited from my death. They'll kill you if they find out who you are. She smiled. They won't. They'll think I'm the healer who saved them. Until they realize I'm the curse they earned. Don't do this, I pleaded. Please, why? Because you finally regret it? Yes. She studied me for a moment, her eyes unreadable. Regret doesn't resurrect the dead. I wanted to speak, but no words came. She turned toward the door. You once swore you'd never forgive betrayal, she said. Now you'll learn how it feels to be betrayed by fate itself. Evelira, wait. She paused. What? I need to know one thing. When you looked at me tonight, was there even a moment when you remembered loving me? Her silence hurt more than any answer. Finally, she said, Love died first, Lucien. The fire just finished the rest. Then she left, the door closing softly behind her. I stayed kneeling long after she was gone. The room felt colder, emptier. I whispered her name again, knowing she'd never answer. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like a king, only a man drowning in the ashes of his own sins. Asterisk. The hall was silent when Rowan entered, his cloak dripping from the rain. He placed a sealed parchment on my desk. It's done, he said. I stared at the seal. What is it? Proof, he replied. Letters written by American confessions, disguised as commands. We found them hidden behind the chapel wall. I broke the seal. My eyes caught her handwriting, the same delicate strokes that once begged for my love. The words inside reeked of rot. The priest will testify as arranged. My sister will not escape the flames. His Majesty must never know. My stomach turned. She wrote this. Rowan nodded. Her maid kept the copies. Lyra persuaded her to speak. Lyra. The name burned like light and shadow together. Where is she now? In the courtyard, Rowan said. She's waiting for you. I rose slowly. Bring Amara in. No guards. I want to hear her lies myself. I hesitated. She'll deny everything. She'll always does. When she entered, the air seemed to tighten. She still carried herself like royalty head high, eyes bright with fury. Lucien, she said coldly, is this how you treat your queen? Dragging me from my chambers in the middle of the night? You were never my queen, I said. You were my mistake. Her lips twitched. You've been listening to that healer again, haven't you? She's poisoned your mind. She saved it, I said. You destroyed it long before she arrived. Her gaze flicked to the papers on my desk. What's that? Your words, I said. Your signature. Your betrayal. She froze for a heartbeat, then laughed. Forgery. Rohan found them. The ink matches your correspondence. Even your maid swore under oath. My maid? She hissed. You trust a servant over me? I trusted you once, I said. Look what that cost. Her mask cracked, fury bleeding through. You think I regret it? She deserved it. My breath caught. What did you say? She was weak. She spat. Always stealing attention. Always loved for nothing. You were mine, Lucien. She tried to take that. She never wanted my crown, I said. Only my heart. She took that too. Her voice echoed through the chamber, shrill and bitter. You think she was innocent? She had to burn, or I would have lost everything. You lost everything anyway, I said quietly. Including me. The door opened behind her. Lyra stepped inside, silent, hood drawn low. Amara turned. You, she sneered. This is your doing. Lyra's voice was calm. No, Amara, this is yours. Amara's eyes narrowed. You're her ghost, aren't you? You came back to torment me. Lyra didn't answer. She simply placed another letter on the desk. You wrote this the night before Evelyn's execution. Recognize your handwriting? Amara snatched it. I wrote nothing. Read it aloud, I said. Her hands shook as she read. When she's gone, I'll finally have peace. The Emperor will thank me for it. Her face drained of color. This proves nothing. It proves everything, I said. Lyra stepped closer. You lied. You killed. You twisted faith into a weapon. And now you'll face what you gave others. Mara laughed, broken and sharp. You think he'll kill me? He can't. He loves me. I looked at her. I did once. She reached out, desperate. Lucien, don't do this. We were meant to rule together. I stepped back. We ruled through blood and lies. That ends tonight. She turned to Lyra. You'll regret this, which Lyra's voice didn't waver. I already have. I called for the guards. Take her to the tribunal chamber. Mara struggled, screaming, her words echoing through the hall. You'll burn like she did. Both of you. When the doors closed behind her, the silence was heavy again. I looked at Lyra. You set this in motion. She deserved justice, she said. Justice or vengeance? Does it matter? I exhaled slowly. It should, but it doesn't. The next morning, the trial began. The council chamber overflowed with nobles hungry for scandal. Amara stood in chains, pale but defiant. Rohan read the charge, transgressy, conspiracy to pervert divine law. Each word hit like a hammer. Do you deny these crimes? He asked. Amara lifted her chin. I did what was necessary for the Empire. For love. For yourself, I said. Her eyes met mine. You'll regret this, Lucien. You always do. Lyra stood beside the guards, face unreadable. Not hatred, not triumph, just silence. When the verdict was read, Amara screamed. She was never innocent. She bewitched you all. I rose. Enough. The hall fell silent. My hand trembled as I reached for the decree. The pen scraped across the parchment. My name sealing her fate. Amara's laughter turned to sobs. You're killing the wrong sister again. I looked at her one last time. No, this time I'm sure. They dragged her away, kicking and cursing until the doors slammed shut. That evening, I stood in the courtyard where it would end. The crowd gathered, whispering, waiting. Rain began to fall. Amara met my eyes across the flames. You'll die, haunted, she shouted. I already am, I said. The torch dropped. Fire bloomed. Her screams filled the night, but I felt no victory, no relief. Only the hollow echo of what I'd done before. Lyra watched beside me, her expression calm, her eyes dark. It's over, I said. No, she whispered. It's never over. Justice isn't peace. Her words lingered as the fire dimmed. When it was done, the ashes looked the same as before. Black, silent, final. I whispered, I thought this would make things right. Lyra turned to me. Nothing makes murder right. She walked away, cloak trailing through the wet stones. I stood alone, the rain washing over my hands. They still trembled as if the ink on that decree had burned into my skin, and when I looked at the dying flames, I realized the truth revenge hadn't freed us. It had only finished what the fire began. The Empire called her a saint. Every town sang her name. Every noble praised her miracles. But I knew better. She wasn't a saint. She was a woman carrying scars no blessing could erase. When I summoned her to the throne room, she entered in her usual quiet grace. No jewels, no crowns, just a simple healer's robe and that calm, distant look that could unmake me with one glance. Your Majesty, she said. Lyra, I began, my voice soft. The council wishes to honor you. They demanded, in fact. You've saved thousands from the plague. You restored faith to a dying empire. I only did my duty, she replied. Then let me do mine, I said, standing. You will be named High Healer of the Court, the highest honor I can bestow. She didn't move. That title was once meant for Evelyn. The name hit like a blade. Yes, I whispered, and I failed her. I won't fail you. I'm not her. I know, I said. But the world sees her when they look at you. Her eyes hardened. Then let them look. Silence stretched between us until she spoke again. Why give me this? To ease your guilt? No, I said. To give you what I stole. Can't return a life, she said quietly. Maybe not. But I can give you power, the freedom to heal without chains. She studied me for a long moment, then bowed her head slightly. If this helps the people, I'll accept it. But don't mistake it for forgiveness. I wouldn't dare. When she turned to leave, I called softly, Lyra. She paused. Does it hurt? I asked. To be worshipped by the same empire that once watched you burn? She looked back, eyes unreadable. Every day, after the ceremony, the empire celebrated for weeks. I didn't. The cheers felt hollow. I watched her from the balcony as she walked among the crowds, blessing children, healing the sick. They called her Saint of the Flame. Irony never burned so bright. Rumors soon filled the palace halls. Servants whispered, The emperor loves the healer. Ministers exchanged knowing glances when she entered the court. Rowan confronted me one evening in my study. You're feeding gossip, he said. Let them talk. You know what they'll say next? That you favor her for her beauty, not her deeds. Let them think what they want, he sighed. You're making yourself vulnerable again. I've been vulnerable since the day I killed her, I said. Rowan's eyes softened. You can't rewrite the past with devotion, Lucian.
Ow.
I said quietly. But I can love her better this time, Evan, if she never loves me back. The next day, I found Lyra in the gardens. She was kneeling beside a sick boy, pressing her hands to his chest as he gasped for air. Her eyes were closed, lips moving in prayer. When the boy's breathing steadied, she smiled faintly and sent him running to his mother. You shouldn't exhaust yourself, I said. Approaching, I'm fine, she murmured. You've been healing half the city. Rest, at least for a day. She glanced at me. You still think you can command me. I only worry. Now we're worried. Once before, she said, and it killed me. The words struck deep. You're right, I whispered, and I'll regret it until I die. She rose to leave, but I caught her arm gently. Do you hate me? She looked down at my hand, then at my face. No, she said softly. Hate requires caring. I'm past that. Then what's left? Emptiness. I let go. I deserve that too. She sighed. You think punishment makes you noble? It doesn't. I'm not looking for nobility, I said. Only meaning. Her gaze softened slightly. Meaning doesn't come from suffering. It comes from doing what's right without expecting absolution. And you found that. Sometimes, she said, when I heal someone for a moment, I feel alive again. But then I remember. What? The fire, she whispered, and your voice ordering it. I closed my eyes. If I could take it back, you can't. Her tone wasn't cruel, just final. We stood in silence. The wind rustled through the roses she once planted years ago. Before I destroyed everything, I still love you, I said quietly. She didn't answer at first. Then, softly, love died the night you chose lies over me. The words broke something inside me. And if I keep loving you anyway? She looked at me, eyes glimmering like distant stars. Then that's your punishment, not my salvation. She turned to leave again. Don't wait for me, Lucian. You're waiting for someone who doesn't exist anymore. Maybe, I said, but I'll wait anyway. She stopped for a moment, her back to me. You'll waste a lifetime. I already have, I said. She didn't look back as she walked away. Later that night, I stood on the balcony, watching the lights of the city flicker below. The people chanted her name against St. Lyra, St. Lyra. Rowan joined me, quiet as always. You should rest, he said. I can't, I murmured. Every time I close my eyes, I see her turning from me. He studied me for a moment. You've given her freedom. That's more than most kings would. It doesn't feel like enough, because you're trying to heal yourself through her, he said. But her scars aren't yours to mend. He left me there. And I watched the horizon until dawn bled into the sky, when the sun rose. Its light touched the palace roofs and the temple spires, the same places where her screams once echoed. I whispered. If love can't bring her back, maybe faith will let her live on. But even as I said it, I knew the truth. She lived. She walked these halls. She healed the world, but she would never be mine again. And that was the crown I carried, the crown of regret. Asterisk. The years passed quietly. The empire healed under her hands. Plagues ended. Crops grew where famine once ruled. Temples spoke her name more often than mine. I didn't mind. She deserved every prayer. Tonight, the palace shone brighter than ever. Gold banners waved above the courtyard. The air buzzed with celebration, the coronation of the empire's savior, my savior. Lyra stood before me at the altar, dressed in white silk that caught the candlelight like flame. Her crown waited on a velvet cushion beside me. Are you ready? I asked. Her lips curved faintly. You should be the one asking yourself that. Maybe I'm not, I admitted. Then why do this? Because justice shouldn't wear my crown, I said. It should wear yours. She looked away. You know what they'll whisper? They've whispered worse, I said. When the herald called for silence, I turned to the crowd. Before the gods and the empire, I name Lyra Ardenhigh Healer, saint of the Flame Queen of Arendar. A roar rose like thunder. The people cheered, their joy filling the marble hall. I lifted the crown and met her gaze. May this honor bring peace to what I destroyed. She didn't answer, but she didn't stop me either, as I placed the crown upon her head. The metal felt heavier than any sword I'd ever carried. When I stepped back, the hall erupted in applause. She looked every bit the queen the gods had stolen from her once. Yet as her eyes met mine, I saw at the distance that no crown could bridge. After the ceremony, we stood on the balcony overlooking the city. Lanterns floated through the night sky like drifting souls. The people love you, said quietly. They love what I represent, she replied. Not me. You've given them hope. Hope built on ashes, she said. You know that as well as I do. I leaned on the railing beside her. If rebuilding this world costs me my soul, I'll pay the price. She looked at me then, truly looked, as if seeing the man beneath the guilt. You already did. We stood in silence, the wind carrying faint music from below. I wanted to reach for her hand, but didn't. I'd done enough taking in my life. Why did you accept the crown? I asked finally. Because you asked me to. That's not a reason. She smiled faintly. Then because it's time someone led without blood on their hands. You make it sound easy. It isn't, she said softly. But it's necessary. The lanterns flickered like stars. I turned toward her. Do you ever think about what we were? Every night, she said. But thinking doesn't change what happened. I don't expect it to. Then what do you want from me? Nothing, I said. I just wanted to see you wear the crown that should have been yours. She studied me for a moment. You really believe this makes us even? No, I said. It just makes it right. Her gaze softened. You finally gave me justice, and lost my soul in the process. She exhaled, almost a laugh, but not quite. Then we're even. For the first time in years, she smiled not with bitterness, not with pain, but with quiet acceptance. Do you forgive me? I asked. Forgiveness isn't what you need, she said. You need peace. And will I ever have it? Maybe, she said. When you stop chasing ghosts. I smiled faintly. That's hard when the ghost stands beside me. Her eyes glimmered in the moonlight. Then let her rest, Lucian. She stepped closer, her hand brushing mine. It was warm alive, and yet it trembled like something fading. I used to dream of this, I whispered. You beside me. Not as punishment, just as us. She looked at me, and for a heartbeat, I saw the woman I had loved, the one who used to sing in the gardens, barefoot under the stars. Dreams are kinder than memory, she said. Maybe, I whispered, but they still hurt. Her fingers lingered against mine. Pain reminds us we're still here. Are we? I asked. For now. The silence between us carried everything we never said. The music from the courtyard drifted higher, echoing through the marble halls. The people celebrated their new queen, their saint reborn. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the gods were laughing that fate had finally evened its scales. She turned toward the doorway. "Come. They're waiting for you to speak." "Let them wait," I said. "For once, the empire belongs to someone better." She smiled. "You always did have a way with words." "I learned from the best." Her laughter soft, rare. Rhea filled the air for a moment before fading into the night. When she started to walk away, I caught her hand gently. "Stay just a moment longer." She hesitated. "Why?" "Because every time you leave, it feels like the world ends again." She turned back, eyes shimmering like dusk after rain. "Then let this be the last ending." Her hand tightened briefly around mine. The torches below flickered. The music quieted. The night seemed to hold its breath. She whispered, "Good night, Lucian. Good night, my queen." Her hand slipped from mine. The warmth lingered for only a second before the cold. Turned I stood alone as the bells tolled for the new dawn, and though she stood beside me in name, I knew the truth. She was no longer mine, nor meant to be. But as long as she lived, perhaps some part of me could finally rest. The crowd below chanted her name again, Queen Lyra. Queen Lyra. I closed my eyes and whispered the one name that still haunted me, Evelyn. The sound vanished into the wind, leaving nothing but silence and peace. Her hand was gone. Her warmth faded, and I at Lysander stood what it meant to love a ghost.